Welcome to the Explainer. Something truly fascinating is happening right now in the software development world. We're witnessing this massive, industry-wide shift in how developers actually work day to day, and honestly, it's happening at lightning speed. Specifically, a huge number of developers are slowly but steadily picking up their daily coding workflows and moving them right over to Anthropic's Claude AI. So naturally, that brings up the elephant in the room, right? Is ChatGPT losing its edge with coders? Now, let's be super clear about this from the jump. ChatGPT isn't bad. It hasn't suddenly become obsolete, not at all. But developers have kind of stumbled upon this powerful new teammate. They're finding out that for really specific, heavy-duty programming tasks, the landscape has just fundamentally shifted. And really, that shift is entirely about how we interact with artificial intelligence. Developers are gravitating toward Claude because, well, it functions a lot less like a simple search engine that just spits out robotic answers and way more like an actual collaborative AI teammate. It feels natural, it's incredibly detailed, and it has this really unique way of grasping the full, big picture scope of exactly what you're trying to build. Now, Claude's core capabilities are pretty vast. We're talking about high-level writing, complex analysis, workflow automation, and really deep research, and it does all of those things exceptionally well. But it's that very first pillar, coding, that's acting as the massive engine driving this whole developer migration we're seeing. The coding abilities people are unlocking right now are frankly insane.
Section 1. Mastering huge code bases.
Because as literally any developer will tell you, writing a quick 10-line script is easy, but managing a massive enterprise-level project with hundreds of interconnected files, that is a completely different beast. So to understand why Claude excels here, we really have to talk about the context window. Think of it like a computer's RAM. Actually, scratch that. A better way to think about it is like your own short-term memory. It's the sheer volume of information, code, or text that an AI model can hold onto, process, and actively analyze in its brain at one single time. When a project gets too big, most other AI tools just drop the ball. They literally forget what you told them 5 minutes ago. They just lose the thread entirely. To put this into perspective, especially if you're a student just starting to learn software architecture, imagine trying to understand a super complex, twisting storyline, but you're only allowed to read a single page of the book. Compare that to being able to comprehend the entire library all at once. Standard AI coding tools often only see that one single page of code you just pasted in. Claude, on the other hand, thanks to its massive context window, can comprehend the whole library. It has true architectural oversight. And this translates directly into a radically different daily workflow. You aren't just baby feeding it tiny snippets anymore. You can literally just paste entire files. You can upload all of your comprehensive project documentation. You can explain your high-level architecture and ask Claude to track down a bug that spans across 3 or 4 completely different components. It is an absolute game changer. And here is where things get really wild. Because of these capabilities, Claude can wrangle massive Spring Boot projects, super complex React applications, intricate APIs, and just sprawling microservices. And it keeps all those moving parts totally straight in its head at the exact same time. It's incredibly well suited for real-world enterprise-level software development. Section 2. Your personal coding mentor. Okay, this brings us to what we like to call the mentors paradigm. You see, Claude goes way, way beyond just spitting out basic boilerplate syntax to magically make your code run. Instead of just handing you a robotic answer key so you can cheat on the test, Claude actually walks you through a pedagogical process. It takes time to clarify complex logic. So let's say you give it a messy spaghetti code function. It will explain exactly why a bug happened in the first place. It'll teach you how the underlying logic actually works, and then suggest what could be optimized. It's genuinely teaching you the core concepts. And mastering those underlying concepts, that is exactly what turns a junior coder into a senior developer. Because learning programming isn't just about hammering away at the keyboard until the code runs. It's about learning beyond the syntax. It's about deeply understanding system architecture, systematic debugging, real optimization, and adopting incredibly clean coding practices. Claude actively helps you build up those vital high-level skills. So it really behaves much less like a fancy search engine and a lot more like a senior developer who's just sitting right next to you at your desk. Real software development involves planning, making tough structural decisions, and overall system design. Because Claude handles all these tasks conversationally, it genuinely feels like you're just bouncing ideas off an experienced mentor. Section 3. Claude versus ChatGPT. All right, looking at this completely impartially, Both of these AI giants are absolutely incredible pieces of technology. It's really not about one tool being objectively better than the other. It's about choosing the right tool for the right job. Claude really shines when it comes to long context coding, deep architecture discussions, and analyzing massive projects. ChatGPT, on the other hand, remains the undisputed king of quick, punchy answers utilizing third-party plugins, broader internet integrations, and super fast-paced experimentation. They're both evolving insanely fast.
Because both of these tools have such distinct, undeniable strengths, the reality of the modern software industry is collaborative. Developers are just blending the best of both worlds. They're jumping into ChatGPT for rapid iteration and broad tasks, and then tagging in Claude when they really need that deep, contextual analysis of a massive codebase.
Section 4. The Future Developer Workflow. So, what does this actually mean for you and your future career? Well, it's absolutely vital to understand the broader industry takeaway here, especially if you're currently studying computer science or just looking to level up your skills. AI is rapidly augmenting daily engineering tasks. Developers right now are already using it to write out boring boilerplate code, debug gnarly issues, generate tedious documentation, conduct thorough code reviews, and even brainstorm full system designs. And honestly, this is happening so much faster than anyone in the industry predicted.
But hey, let me reassure you real quick. AI is becoming a force multiplier. It's not a replacement for human programmers tomorrow, quite the opposite, actually. Developers who learn to effectively harness these AI tools are becoming drastically more productive. They're doing way more, they're building significantly faster, and they're managing larger systems than ever before.
This is what builds the future baseline. Moving forward, companies are increasingly going to expect engineers to leverage these exact tools. Working comfortably with AI coding assistants, using AI for debugging, leaning on it for documentation and automation. This isn't going to be some special niche skill for much longer. It will literally be the standard expectation. The earlier you adapt to tools like Claude, the bigger your advantage is going to be in the job market.
And that brings us to the end of our deep dive. Claude has clearly positioned itself as an absolute powerhouse for serious software development. But ultimately, the choice really comes down to your personal workflow and how you prefer to get things done. So I want to leave you with a thought. Based on your own projects and how you personally like to learn, would you choose Claude or ChatGPT for your coding? Experiment with both, keep building, keep learning, and I'll catch you next time on The Explainer.